It's a hockey night here in Chesterfield as the Maryville Saints take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. I'm Todd Panula, and this is Andrew Marsh, and this is the Maryville Saints pregame show, abbreviated as it might be, as apparently they're not going to even have player introductions going on tonight. But an interesting game up before these two teams is the Maryville Saints. A bit of a struggle here to open the season, but they're playing some of the top teams in the country. They come in at 4-6, depending on which website you look at for the records. Arizona State overall 5-2-1-1. So a young Sun Devils team coming in here with some wins under their belt, looking to prove something against a very tough Maryville team.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect this game to be a tight one tonight. You know, you just mentioned it, Maryville not having the start that they want to on the year. They dropped the last two, albeit to a really good Liberty team. But this is a chance on home ice to sort of get their season rolling in the right direction. So if they can end up pulling out a victory tonight, keep that building heading into the holiday, I think you have to feel good if you're a Maryville Saint.
So we'll take a brief pause for your national anthem. When we come back, we'll have the puck drop between the Sun Devils and the Saints right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
Welcome to Maryville University,
Welcome to Saints Nation.
home of the Big Red M.
So what does it mean to be a Maryville Saint?
It's more than just going to classes.
As Saints, we are passionate about what we believe in.
We are open-minded and curious about other points of view.
And we know this about life at Maryville.
Your best experiences will happen when you get involved.
Make sure to get involved on campus.
We work hard.
But we have a lot of fun, too.
We have a passion to see each other succeed.
You might have a few hiccups along the way.
Or maybe something more serious. When we run into adversity,
We have faculty and staff here to provide support.
We stand with our fellow Saints through the good times.
And the difficult times.
So be sure to seek out help when you need it.
we know that here at Maryville, we are never alone.
The spirit of Maryville flows through each person that steps foot on our campus.
Being a Saint is that feeling that Maryville University is your community.
That even when you're far away from home,
You are home.
We're on this journey together.
We are Maryville University.
One team, one family.
The Maryville Saints Hockey Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association.
Victory isn't simply won. It takes prep. It takes discipline. It takes practice. You lay the groundwork, and you build. But you don't build alone. In the end, victory isn't given. It isn't earned. You don't ask for it. You take it. And you play for keeps.
It's been weeks, at least this moment's a peace. A treat for the freaks to be in the peace. It's been weeks, at least this moment's a peace. Increase the heat. I wanna watch it burn.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Maryville University Hockey Center. I'm Todd Panula alongside Andrew Marsh, and we are underway here in game number one of this two-game set between the Arizona State Sun Devils and the Maryville Saints. Arizona State start things off in the offensive zone. They tried to get a shot off from the right circle, but it was blocked. Chipped on out into the neutral zone. The Saints regather it in their own end. A ramped puck goes into the Sun Devils zone. Gillings trying to get it back onto the forehand from a tight angle. Shovel pass in front, finds no one. Smolinski from a tight space manages to wiggle free. Soft pass finds Gillings on the left, puts it in front, nobody home. Slap shot from Karunakar into the glove of the goaltender, early whistle. She would have had it anyway, but perhaps a tale of things to come 50 seconds in.
Yeah, good start for the Saints so far here in this first period. You saw a couple passes towards the slot, unable to put that puck in the back of the net. A couple errant passes there, but in terms of offensive chances, you like what the Saints are building right now.
Villard tried to pop one towards the goal, but it ended up wide. Shot from the left defender. Falardo didn't get through some traffic. A board battle over on the far side corner. Saints come out with it. Villard sends it back. Falardo winds up. Slap shot. Got all the way through, and a stick save was made. Karinikar trying to avoid the stick. It was right up in her skates. Falardo tried to go to Villard. Good defensive stick for Arizona State. Pops it back out into neutral ice. Villard does a good job to avoid the three players coming on the forecheck. Dora Venice takes the pass, served it over to the right, and the Sun Devils get it out. Almost miscommunication there as Putnam was a little unsure of what she wanted to do with the puck. A little close to the crease. Popped wide by Tresick. She's had enough of that. Covers it up. 18:02 left to go here in the first.
Yeah, good job by Hannah Tresick. Put a glove on that. Comes into this one with a .261 goals against and a .906 save percentage. Good goaltending matchup we have on our hands tonight, Todd.
Shot was blocked. Getting in front of it was Hansen. Saints looked to transition. The puck kind of rolled on Toole. O'Leary ends up with it. She's shoved up against the corner boards. Good pressure from Toole to keep it alive as she was coming through the deep slot. Sun Devils not buckling under the pressure yet, but they're struggling to get it out of their own zone. Toole shovels it down into the near side corner. Centering pass, a little far behind O'Leary. Circling back, Bryan just blindly puts one over here towards the near side. Brendan says, I'll take that. Hansen puts it to the front of goal. O'Leary with a rebound chance, but it's swept wide. Brendan gets it again, and then lost it over in the corner. Sun Devils trying to get around the official. Push back up towards the blue line. Hansen gloves it down. Stick handles around center. Putnam over skates briefly, and then just slides it into the offensive zone. Hot pass for Levesque. Not on the mark. Coming right back in is Bjornsson, and she just missed over the blocker's shoulder. 16:47 to go as the Saints trying to get everything towards the middle right now.
Yeah, they're just throwing pucks on net right now. That referee, Todd, I know you're not a huge fan of the men in stripes by any means, so I'll take that duty tonight for you.
They're always in the way.
You got to get out of the way, but I understand they're humans. They make mistakes, just like all of us. But we'll keep them accountable tonight, Todd.
That's what we're here for. That's why they pay us the big money.
Exactly.
Sun Devils looking for an escape route up the middle. They miss on the pass. Gerwitz banks it off of one of the Sun Devils at her own blue line. Smolinski pushes it up the near side. That's out of the reach of Struther. And that'll be our first icing call of the game, just about 4 minutes in.
Well, after losing 2 games, Maryville showing a lot of offense here early in this one, trying to get that first goal of the game and build some momentum throughout this 60 minutes. I like their game so far.
Trying to shrug off a couple losses to Liberty University. Beckett needs to watch where that stick's at. Doesn't want to get called for tripping as she blew a tire coming over the blue line. Sun Devils kick it out into the neutral zone. Almost had a 2-on-1, but that didn't materialize. Now Kylie Brown tried to spike it down towards the goal line. Backhand chance, almost got all the way through. Gerwitz got a skate to it. And now we get a partial break here coming in for Beckett. She's got the lane, takes the shot, and hits the pad. Good eyes there from Aaliyah Sutton to spring that out. The Saints couldn't crack the goose egg on the scoreboard. Here comes Sutton, in all alone, 1-on-4, and a poke check was able to pitchfork that away. Sutton gives a little bit of a shove there to Sam Murphy. Sun Devils come in on the right. Right pad save made on the shot from just outside the circle. as Murphy was able to get that one through the legs of the defender. Murphy knocks it down with a high stick. Saints debating whether they want to play it. They do send it out through the neutral zone. Here comes Villard. Lost it in the high slot. Regathers right at center ice. Comes in on the left wing. Plays it off the boards to herself. Quick shot, bad save. Villard collects it again. Villardo to Hansen, and that's poked away. And that's actually Putnam on the puck. She puts it right back into the zone. Is the Saints going to change their forward line at least partially? 14-14 to go here in the first. Pass was too strong for Ross. She heads off to complete the change on the forward side of things. Toole was spun around. Hansen flicks it down low. Picking it up behind her own net is Gervais. She lost it right along the goal line, but the Sun Devils were able to avert the danger. Coming out with speed is Powell. She chipped it in, wrong side of the red line, and that will be an icing call. 13:46 to go. Shots are 5-2 Saints, but nobody has a goal as of yet.
And that's all created from that pressure stepping up at the red line and making sure that Powell couldn't gain the red line to ultimately dump that in and go off for a line change. So now the Saints get an offensive zone face-off, and we'll see if they can keep that pressure in the O-zone.
Face-off won by the Saints. Gerwitz hits the brakes, puts one towards the glove side, but right into the webbing.
And that's exactly what you're looking for off an offensive zone face-off. Nice shot by Emma Gerwitz. She's no stranger to throwing the puck on net.
9 points on the year for Gerwitz, most of them in the way of assists, but still 2 goals on the year. In behind her own goal is Mara Draper. Sun Devils haven't gotten out of their own zone with much possession. They come out with some numbers on the right side. Delayed offside, and that is whistled with 13:25 left in the opening frame. Face-off will come just outside the Maryville line. Slid on into the zone by Streak. Deflected shot ends up wide of the glove side. Saints pick it up from the near side wall up through the middle. Too strong for Harris. And that'll be an icing back the other way. So both teams trying to stretch it out a little bit. Been called for a couple icings here in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, you mentioned that pass a little too hot there. But I don't mind that pass because if you connect, you can split the D and end up going in on maybe a partial break or even a breakaway all on its own.
Chip shot ends up over the goal. Might have ramped off a defensive stick. Saints bounce one out onto center. Backing up was Powell, and she puts it into the zone. Calls for offside, go unheeded. Sun Devils able to strip it away from Hansen, but not for long, and she digs in along the boards right in front of her own bench. 12:35 to go here in the first. Both teams trying to strip it off the Dashers. Bjornsson takes a little bit of a bump, regathers the puck along the wall. Hands it right back to the Sun Devils. Good little collision there as Gillings was able to jar things loose. Coons puts it up the boards. And then taking a spill was Levesque. Saints looking to get in on the offensive end. Beckett, always dangerous, lifts the stick, came up with the puck, and then it just kind of stuck right behind the net. Sun Devils able to use the numbers advantage to get the puck in the corner. This one goes the length of the ice and just barely crosses quickly enough for icing. Maryville with another opportunity to get a quick shot if they can get a face-off win.
In Arizona State, they had the puck in the Maryville zone, a couple icings there, but they weren't able to generate anything. No shots really towards the net. Hannah Tresick really hasn't seen any grade A opportunities from the Sun Devils thus far.
Yeah, their 2 shots came in the first 5 minutes, and they haven't had any since then. We're going to get another icing here, which will stop the clock with 11:41 to go.
We talk about this a lot. But maybe as a goaltender, you would like to see a few shots just to sort of see the puck, but you're not going to complain if the team in front of you has.
We get a shot from the point, and Smolinski puts it in. I don't know if that was deflected off of anybody, but it went up and over the glove hand shoulder of the Sun Devils goaltender, and the Saints are up 1-0.
Well, there's my point right there. You don't mind if the team in front of you has all the momentum in the offensive zone, playing down in the Arizona State Sun Devils zone. You win the faceoff, and that's why those icings become so important, because you get so many offensive zone faceoffs. Eventually, you start throwing the puck on net, good things will happen.
So Smolinski with the goal at 8:23 of the first period. Coming off a face-off win. See, that's what happens. You try to make a point, and then something happens. Gerwitz flings it on around. It's chipped over towards the far side corner. Gervais lost it, and a quick shot in by Sutton, and a glove save was made. Edinger was able to come out and cover up the loose puck as well, but the Saints that close to making it 2-0.
Well, that's something the referees need to keep an eye out, because that is it's not the first time that she has made the stop and the puck squirted loose. So something to keep an eye out on the rest of this game.
Back checking, making the poke check was Mackenzie Villard. Sun Devils hold the zone, at least for now, as it's caught up in the skates of Ross. Gerwitz flings it up off the backside of Villard. Sun Devils regain it. Gerwitz, always a pest, no matter where she's at on the ice. Just one of the best collegiate defensemen that we've seen, definitely in Maryville program history. Tossed back by Murphy. She tried to repay the favor as it was coming off the stick of Draper. But instead, the Saints cough it up as they tried to enter the zone. Gerwitz takes the floated pass, pushes it on to Ross, who sends it around. Just about halfway through the first period, Saints lead by a goal. Outlet feed finds Olsen as she comes in. That's Kelsey Olsen trying to get the return pass from Bielmeyer. Stick battle. Putnam had it for a moment. Give it away. Bryan takes it into the near side corner. Putnam ties her up. Hard pass from the middle. And the shot was actually blocked by Bielmeyer. On the right point. Stick save made by Tresick, and then she covers up the rebound as well.
Yeah, that's a great stop right there. Heads up. Second opportunity for the Sun Devils, but that puck on the far side wall, that puck's got to get out. If you have a chance right there to either flip it out or, you don't want to take the icing by any means, but you definitely don't want to give it away for a nice shot on net.
Maryville perhaps a little bit fatigued at the end of their shift there. They change up their forward lines. 9:25 to go here in the frame. Shot blocked a couple times. Karunakar picks up the floating puck. Gillings chips it out of the zone. A lot of snow right in front of the Maryville bench. Able to get it past that. Beckett swings it on around. Sutton going to catch up to it in the corner. Olsen was able to knock it away from her. Saints put the stick right back in there. Olsen puts it back to the defender. Coons looking for options. They're trying to get up the near side wall, and finally they skate it out. Up through the middle. Pass was too hot for Bryan. Peeling back is Falardo. Karunakar tried to gain the line. Instead, put it up through the middle to Gillings. Sun Devils hit the brakes, but then they turn it right back over to Sutton. She's got a chance, and the rebound. Beckett scores! The two leading scorers for the Saints, proving why they're at the top of the score sheet more often than not as they connect again, and it's 2-0.
Well, here's the do's and don'ts of hockey, Todd. One, you see inside the Sun Devil zone, you see a move just inside the blue line. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to throw the puck up the middle blindly. That's exactly what happened. the thing you do want to do is go hard to the net, and that's exactly what happened on that second goal. The do's and don'ts of hockey, and the Saints are up 2-0.
So Beckett with her 9th goal of the season. Sutton now has 8 assists on the year. Knocked out of midair by Struther, hands it off. Saints will rim it on around as Villard got the zone. Harris trying to chase it down, but it hit a partition in the boards and just kind of stayed there. 8:05 left to go in the period. Villard wins the board battle. Harris chipped it right back. Villard giving her opponent the business. Sun Devils come out with it. Not out of the zone, though. Good hold in by Gurwitz. Smolinski keeps it alive. Villard just puts it in front. Oh, and it got through the goaltender. We've seen that glove be fairly leaky tonight for Edinger. A lot of times you're told to get the stick behind that, but she did not in that case, and she was lucky that it ended up going wide. 4-player scrum on the near side half wall. Referee says I've seen enough and blows it dead.
Yeah, a little shaky tonight for Quinn Edinger. 4-1 though on the year, 132 goals against and a .953 save percentage. So this doesn't seem like a typical night for the Sun Devil netminder. 2 goals so far in this first period.
Ross, backhand, forehand, shot, blocker, save, rebound chance. Looked like it glanced off the skate as well. Sun Devils get away with the dangerous move as they come up through the middle. They come in 3-on-2 and then floated. As we see another awkward glove save, this time by Tresick. Puck was fluttering, so those are sometimes difficult to deal with, but we've seen goaltenders on both ends struggle a little bit with the webbing. Windross and Ross couldn't come up with the puck on the forecheck. Windross is going to go off for a change. Emily Toole comes out on the ice as the Saints scrape it off the wall. Straightaway point. Oh, it just snuck under the stick of Putnam. She tries to slam it off the wall. Sun Devils send it up the zone, not out yet. Coming up through the middle, making the move is Powell, but she lost control. Toole spins around, flings it off the window. Back through the middle. Hansen is right there, comes in on the right. Hansen to the circle, stick handles through one, and then lost it as she came close to the goal line. Powell puts it over to the far side, looking for a return pass. That hit off the back of the goal. Streak tried to send it up the wall. Toole says, I saw it coming. O'Leary trying to take it off the hash marks. Sun Devils in behind their own net. Pirouetting around is Kylie Leibold. She tries to come up with speed. O'Leary got a piece of it with the stick. Hansen is back. Slides it up the near side wall. 5:35 to go in the period. Olsen chipped it loose to the hash marks. Brennan takes control. Sophie Brennan gains the red line, and she'll head off for a change on the dump in. Karunikar coming in on the forecheck. Edinger was struggling to get it off the backside of the net. Sun Devils trying to calm things down. They're looking a little bit out of sorts. Beckett makes the steal. Stick handles through, back to the middle, cut it back towards the glove hand. And a good save was made by Edinger. Gillings from the circle, looking for Sutton on a deflection. It ended up right on the left pad. And we get a whistle with 4:52 to go. Saints out shooting the Sun Devils 14-4, outscoring them 2-0.
One thing I've noticed, Todd, is that there are so many rebounds given up right outside the blue paint, and we saw that second goal scored. That was because driving hard to the net, picked up the loose change, but there's a lot of trash right out there. We learned from the Mighty Ducks, the third movie, of course, that if you're a defensive player, you got to clean out the trash, right? Get rid of the trash. Well, the Sun Devils are doing a pretty good job at that, but the Saints, they need to keep pouncing on those pucks right outside the crease.
From a film perspective, I don't know if that one should exist, but that's still a good message to players.
You calm down now. I love that movie.
In my head canon, it ended after the World Junior Championships or whatever that was.
Yeah, the Junior Goodwill Games,
yeah.
of course.
Oh, here's a giveaway. Sutton puts it on the stick of the Sun Devils. Tresick makes the save, and the puck went all the way to the corner. Great opportunity there for Paige Ring, but Tresick stood tall in her position.
Yeah, that was a huge save. Ring tries to go high blocker, and it looked like Tresick may have gotten a stick on that, perhaps, as she just sort of closed off that top post. But a huge save right there, because right now Maryville has all the momentum. They're up 2 right now, less than 5 minutes to go. Bad turnover in their own zone, but that's why you have one of the better goaltenders in the nation making stops like that to keep you up by 2.
Label from the corner, put it up through the middle, slap shot coming from the right, and that whistles through the crease but wide. Ross takes a spill, and she was in a tussle with Murphy. Sun Devils looking for space, hard to come by. Karunakar doing good job defending. Powell managed to make the pass. It gets to the point for Streak. Her shot goes wide, may have glanced off the side of the net. 3:30 left to go here in the period as the Saints get it out, but not with much conviction. Back and forth it went from blue line to blue line. Sun Devils finally take control of it as Maryville trying to change things up. Coming up through the middle is Streak, stick handling, and tried to slide it into the offensive zone, but Karunakar was waiting. Karunakar trying to go coast to coast, and the Saints are offside as it was played over the line by Braun.
15 shots for the Saints here in this first period, 6 for the Sun Devils. We talked about the two losses back-to-back to Liberty. This is exactly the period that you want to have if you're on this Saints team. Grab that momentum, take that into the locker room, and play with this jump that you have right now through the 43 minutes of this contest.
Hansen back at her own blue line. Slides one up through to Struther, who guides it on in. Braun was trying to get on the forecheck, just a step too slow. Bjornsson fires one on. She's not afraid to shoot it. Struther from the left circle, backhands it off a defensive stick, ends up in behind the cage. Reversing, Kuhns will skate it up. Finds Bryan up the zone. She plays it off the wall to herself. Tough angle, has to pass it in through the middle, and the Saints deal with it. Bjornsson was kind of looking around for the number of the truck as she hit the ground rather hard. Hansen, stick handles, taking on all comers, shot off the blocker. Toole will gallop on around. From the near side half wall, plays it back down low, and again caught up in some of that snow along the boards. Where's the ice crew when you need it?
Well, they're hanging up here with us.
1:45 to go here in the period. As the Sun Devils couldn't gain the zone. Devaney was tied up. Gerwitz takes a slash 2-3 times, and that's going to put the Saints on the power play. The referee was pretty lenient there, let her get away with at least 2. The third one was too much.
Well, that's what happens when you're skating hard. You draw a penalty. 90 seconds remaining here in this period. Todd, would you rather have the power play at the end of the period with the ice in the condition it is right now, or would you rather have a clean sheet? What is your preference?
I think it depends on how good my team is at faceoffs. If we're good at faceoffs, I'd take the majority of it in the next period, because then you get the clean ice and everything. But you got to win that opening faceoff, otherwise they have too much space to deal with, I think.
Well, and you got to account for a late period goal as well.
And there it is. Beckett just puts it through some traffic. Again, that may have gone off an Arizona State leg or something, but it counts. It went through the 5-hole of the goaltender and hit the back of the net, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, just a great shot. Saints moving the puck around very well on the power play, setting things up. It doesn't matter what the condition of the ice is, Todd. Clean sheet. Doesn't matter right now. Saints up by 3. That's a good power play goal. Something that not only the women's team, but the men's team, over the years we've been calling them, just something that they've struggled with, power plays. No struggle there.
So now that's twice that we've seen just face-off wins, put the puck to the net, and ends up in the back of the net. Never a bad idea to shoot. Under a minute to go, Saints up 3-0. Beckett with her second goal of the game at 18:46 on the power play. Here comes Sutton on her off wing. Looks like she's going to take it all the way and put it right into that center emblem on the chest of Quinn Eatinger. 42 seconds exactly left here in the first.
So far this season, heading into this game, Maryville converting at a 20.5% in terms of their power play. Other teams 42.5. That's Liberty, the team they just played. So a stark difference from power plays there. The penalty kill, however, very good this season.
Karunikar does a good job to avert most of the danger. Bielmeyer was able to get a shot off, but Tresick with a rather easy save. 12 seconds left to go. Bielmeyer was able to send it on back to her own blue line. Coming in on the near wing is Kelsey Olsen. Bielmeyer had too many Maryville jerseys right around her. She got herself into the slot, but when you've got two players in front of you and two right behind you, it's difficult to get a shot away. So after 20 minutes of play, it's all Saints as it's 3-0 Maryville. We'll take a quick break. We'll have your first intermission report coming up, and then we'll have your second period as well. Keep it right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and a huge fan of the consistency. Year after year, for me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior. And on top of that, the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all, you have to be a Warrior.
College hockey. It's more than just what school you play for. More than just another sweater you pull on. It's about focus, determination, strategy, and poise. It's more than just packed rinks and screaming fans. It's about heart, skill, and passion. In nearly 30 years of the ACHA, we don't just play the game of hockey. We are the game of hockey. Hundreds of elite players and coaches from some of the United States and Canada's most prestigious programs. The American Collegiate Hockey Association. More than just a game.
Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great summer. As the school year gets started across the country, we're excited to also welcome you back to another great season of hockey. Thanks for being a part of the USA Hockey family. I want you to know that our volunteers and our staff work every single day as hard as they can to make sure hockey is the best sports experience in every community in our country. Within USA Hockey, you're part of an organization that's a world leader in development, safety, fun, and success, and one that is committed to fostering a welcoming environment for all by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive game. Hockey is played in thousands of communities across our entire country. Please join me in keeping the momentum going by inviting at least one new person to get involved with hockey this year. It doesn't matter if it's someone who wants to play, coach, officiate, volunteer, or just be a fan. We're excited about sharing the joy our sport brings with as many people as possible. I would also like to offer a friendly reminder to make sure that respect is top of mind every time you enter the rink or take to the ice for a game or practice this season. That includes making sure that we never use hateful or discriminatory language, as it has absolutely no place in our game or in our society. It's on all of us to make sure that we respect the game, including playing within the rules, treating officials with respect, giving our best, and being a good teammate. In the end, hockey is about fun, so let's make sure we never lose sight of that. Here's to a great season ahead, one filled with friendship, respect, success, and most of all, plenty of smiles.
Welcome to Maryville University.
Welcome to Saints Nation.
Home of the Big Red M.
So what does it mean to be a Maryville Saint?
It's more than just going to classes.
As Saints, we are passionate about what we believe in.
We are open-minded and curious about other points of view.
And we know this about life at Maryville.
Your best experiences will happen when you get involved.
Make sure to get involved on campus.
We work hard.
But we have a lot of fun too.
We have a passion to see each other succeed.
You might have a few hiccups along the way, or maybe something more serious. When we run into adversity,
We have faculty and staff here to provide support.
We stand with our fellow Saints through the good times
And the difficult times.
So be sure to seek out help when you need it.
we know that here at Maryville,
We are never alone.
The spirit of Maryville flows through each person that steps foot on our campus.
Being a Saint is that feeling that Maryville University is your community.
That even when you're far away from home,
You are home.
We're on this journey together.
we are Maryville University.
One team, one family.
It's time for the Maryville Saints Intermission Report. Let's get ready for the second period.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult.
Welcome back to the Maryville University Hockey Center for your Maryville Saints Intermission Report. Well, pretty good first period, Marshy, as the Saints are up 3-0. And we've talked about it kind of in the pregame show, and we've both played sports. It's like you've had disappointing road trips. The bus ride back isn't all that fun, and everybody's real quiet. But I think that first 20 minutes was probably enough to kind of erase that bad feeling.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. You know, you end up losing those 2 games to Liberty, but you have a period like this, and Maryville could have easily went out there and sort of played down and just not really feeling it tonight. You know, it's a late start for this women's team, and, you know, you sort of get into that mindset of, all right, well, we lost this game. Things aren't going so great, but they completely flipped the switch. It's like you said, they erased those 2 games, and they're looking for, you know, their 5th win of the season, and they went out and they did a great job in the first period. From the puck drop to the end of the first period, they were all over the Sun Devils, and that's why the score's 3-0 right now. And
you like the mentality that they came out with, because you never know what you're going to get with these younger teams. At Arizona State, we were talking to one of the dads before the game, and he was talking about how they're a very young team, a lot of sophomores, and they're trying to build the program.
Yeah.
But obviously a few years behind what Maryville has done, but they're trying to measure themselves up against the Saints, and Maryville was having none of that. They came out 19 shots to 8 and scoring 3 goals and keeping them all out as well. So they didn't even allow them to have a sniff.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when you have a young team, you have some mistakes, and we saw that on that second goal. You know, a blind pass up the middle, it stays in the zone. You get a shot on net, and then you have Haley Beckett driving the net. There's a reason why she has so many goals this year, now 10, as she scored that 3rd goal as well. But that's what happens when you have a young team. They make mistakes. And Maryville, like you said, they wanted no part of playing down to where Arizona State is right now. Maryville, one of the top teams in the nation. We definitely know that from last year. They're trying to prove it right now after a couple of losses, that why they are one of the best teams in the country. And it's weird because the men's team is doing a very similar thing. It's kind of just the way the program likes to go. Yeah.
Where they schedule all these tough games throughout the season. Definitely they front-loaded a lot. Where you're playing teams like Liberty, or the men's teams play in Ohio, or Liberty, or they've got a showcase coming up as well. And it doesn't necessarily help out your record in terms of like we were talking to Emma Gerwitz's dad, and it's like the record doesn't feel all that great, especially when you're below 500. But ultimately, it can set you up for success later in the year.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to play these tough games so you know what kind of competition you're going to be looking at the end of the season. The point of this point in the season, you want to find your game. You want to build your game. What do you do well? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Figure out your game. You always hear hockey players, we got to get back to our game, right? And if you're a listener or you're watching the game, you're like, well, what does that mean? Like, what is your game? These players know what their game is. I think we're seeing Maryville's game right now in this first period, and it's fun to watch.
Well, we'll see how well they transition that over into the second period. We'll take a brief pause. When we come back, we'll have the puck drop on the second period on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and a huge fan of the consistency year after year. For me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior. And on top of that, the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all.
And welcome back again as we're underway here in the second period. Saints come in quickly, floating one towards goal. Gillings almost had a rebound opportunity, The puck just bounced on her right as she took a swipe. Draper looking for an escape route, put it up the near side. Gerwitz again with the hold at the blue line. Pretty much come to expect that for her if you put it anywhere near her. Sun Devils come up through the middle. Arms stay down. No penalty. Stick saved by Tresick as she guides it over into the corner. Fluttering puck. Saints gather it up. Here's Beckett. She uses her speed to come on through. Saucer pass for Gillings, and it just wouldn't settle down. Everybody for Arizona State that was in the way was taking a swipe at that puck. It ended up getting through, just not enough cleanly for a shot on goal. Karunikar took a shot. That's knocked down. Getting in front of it was Ring. Kylie Brown spins it back the other way. Somebody's got to close that bench door. Long shot in for the right point, and a save made.
I don't know about you, Todd. It looked like when Gillings was driving the net, she did end up corralling that puck. Perhaps took a whack at the stick. There were some fans over here to our left that were looking for a call there, perhaps a slash. But then again, you could have made a call inside the neutral zone for a trip, but it is what it is. Look at me, I'm defending the referees right now.
Yeah, I don't know what your problem is. They paid you off, didn't they?
Maybe.
Here comes Ross, trying to flip one towards goal. Windross picks up the loose change, spun around him behind the net. Trying to get a piece of it is Murphy as she's looking to get out of the zone. Villard says we'll keep it right here. Back towards the point, Karunikar walks the line a couple strides, uses her body to shield the puck. Windross from the outside of the circle, floats one in front. Windross was the intended target. Falardo carries into the corner. Windross is there. She's tied up briefly by Murphy. We do have a goaltender change as Maya Glaister is in between the pipes now for the Sun Devils. So interesting that they waited until the intermission to change it up. Saints regather it at center ice, coming back in, but it was a delayed offside. Sun Devils stick handle around their own blue line. 17 and a half left to go here in the middle frame. Pitchforked ahead by Label, but she ran right into Putnam.
See what you did there.
Well, that was actually unintentional. It worked out. Putnam had it go through the wickets. Here's Brennan. Soft pass for O'Leary. She comes in on her off wing. Tried to go forehand, backhand, and the defender just stood still. Hansen uses her reach, and then she's suplexed. No penalty coming. Referee says it was incidental contact. Hansen still kind of looking around. Fans over there by the glass don't appreciate all that. In on the attack is Paige Bryan. Lost it in the corner. Bjornsson, the intended target, over on the far side. Struther was there as well. Puck just wouldn't come off the wall. Smolinski flings one up the near side. Harris, saucer pass finds Struther. She plays it up into the corner. Instead, it's picked off. Saints steal it right around the blue line. Bjornsson with the quick stick puts it out in front. Score! Addison Harris was able to chip it over the left pad, and a one-time goal makes it 4-0.
Yeah, it's another goal, just driving hard to the net, Todd. That's why you go to the blue paint. Whether it's a rebound or finding a pass, go to the net. Good things happen. That was a great move here on the near side. And a great start to this second period, not even 5 minutes into the second frame. I thought the Saints started off the first period and ended the first period very strong, and it looks like they've continued that success here in the second period.
A turnover by the blue line. The Saints capitalize. Bjornsson drove towards the net, put it in front. Little chip shot from Addie Harris. 16:03 as there was, I believe, an offside call.
That was weird, though. The linesman wasn't the one who blew the whistle.
That's why I briefly thought they had called a penalty because, yeah, the one with the orange stripes had made the call, but we don't only have the one linesman here tonight. Icing is the call as Karunakar does get back first. Saints already have 5 shots on goal. One is hit the back of the net here in the second period.
Todd, I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't even notice that there were only one linesman out there.
See, that's what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to notice the officials. They try to go to the back door again. Beckett was right there, and she was tied up nicely by Dora Venice.
I want to know at what point in your life did a referee hurt you? And I'm not talking physically, I'm talking mentally, emotionally. We'll find out by the end of this game.
The ironic thing is I used to be a soccer referee, so you would think I would give him the benefit of the doubt. Sun Devils just blindly put one through the top of the crease. They were hoping somebody was on the back door. Nobody home. Karunakar reverses over towards the near wing. Falardo comes up to Gillings. Linesman does a good job showing off the hops to get out of the way. Sun Devils gather it up off the end wall. Played it through the neutral zone. Swing and a miss for Kylie Brown. She's trying to chop it into the offensive end, but instead the Saints come right back in. Here's Windross dropping it to Beckett. Tried a nifty little move, but ran into the skates as Ring goes the other way. Skating in is Devaney to Ring. Drops it off. Boland couldn't get a shot as that goes wide. 14:35 to go here in the second. Saints with a little bit of space. Putnam's pass went off a shin pad and in on net. Probably one of the more awkward shots on goal you'll see. Sun Devils deal with it as they tap it around Smolinski. Here they come in 2-on-1. Looking to go to the pass. They take the shot. Good defensive stick as Gerwitz blocked it wide. Sun Devils keep it alive, but the moment may have passed. Loose puck in the high slot. Laybolt over to the circle. Dropped it off to the point. Not too much to do for Gervais. Falardo chipped it off the far wall, and that flutters out of the zone. Arizona State changing their lines. They currently only have 4 players on the ice. Now they have 5. Coming in on the near wing is Gervais. She fires it way over the head of the Saints goaltender. 13:35 to go. Dora Venice trying to keep it away from O'Leary. Saints pick it up in the neutral zone. Falardo chips it on in. Here comes Smolinski. Goes to the right circle, and the shot turned away. Glaister was able to make a left pad save. Saints up 4-0. 2 goals for Beckett, sandwiched in between Smolinski and Harris. As Glaister will cover this one up with 13:02 to go.
I want to go back to that 2-on-1 for Arizona State. Down 4. I know it's a 2-on-1. You want to try move the puck, but at this point, you got to shoot the puck on net. That 2-on-1 chance. Yeah, there was a shot, but it was wide of the cage. You got to throw pucks on net, especially with a golden opportunity with that 2-on-1.
It seems like that's something that's not completely gone out of the game, but you don't see a whole lot anymore, whether we're talking about men or women. It used to be that people would try the shot pass a lot more. It's like you take a shot, you go off the far pad, hopefully somebody can get to it.
Yeah.
Instead, they constantly try the saucer pass. And if you've got a good defender back there, it's difficult to get through sometimes.
Well, goalies. Ooh. Goalies are so good now that they're able to basically direct that shot into bad ice and not give that forward who's driving driving the net, the opportunity to even shoot the puck into the back of the net.
Sun Devils still trying to find a little bit of offense. They've got 3 shots on goal here in this period, although some of them have been from distance. There's a decent one as it pops out of the glove of Hannah Tresick. Arizona State keeps it in. On the back check, Beckett going to get called for probably a slash. She's looking around like, what did I do? And looked like stick on stick, but more often than not, anytime you get a little downward chop on your opponent, they're going to put you in the box.
So going back to the 2-on-1 that I just mentioned, we just saw another great opportunity for Arizona State. They shoot the puck this time, and it pounced out of the glove of Tresick. So I like, you don't score right there, but I like the idea of just ripping the puck on net, and now they'll have a couple chances here on the power play.
First power play of the game for Arizona State. Maryville is 1 for 1 on theirs. As they try to clear it out, Falardo finds the seam and sends it all the way down. So Arizona State was able to get a shot on goal, but no second chance opportunities. Sun Devils come up through the middle, and now they'll send it to the left. Good pass from Devaney as they gain the zone. Deflected puck rattles around in the near side corner. Powell chipped it to herself. Centering feed. No shot available for Bielmeyer. Comes out towards the point. Near side circle. Brown with a shot. Falardo makes the block. Devaney keeps it alive. Brown walking the line. Serves it over to the far wing. Ring puts it through the middle. Falardo from the near side wall and gets it through a myriad of bodies and out. 55 seconds left in the penalty to Beckett. Sun Devils trying to catch Maryville in the line change. Ran out of space at the blue line. Peeling back is Powell. Hands it off to Draper. She'll cross the line on the attack. Slows it up briefly. Toole saw it all the way, and now Maryville's going to be down by 2 players. 38 seconds left on the original penalty. They're going to get Emily Toole as well.
Yeah, a little crunch right on the near side half wall. Looked like the official, as he was putting his arm up, he's like, do I call this? Yeah.
I don't disagree that there was probably a penalty there. I just
sure.
didn't necessarily see a cross check, which is what they called.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But a 5-on-3 for Arizona State as they try to claw their way back into this one. That's not how they're going to do it. It's a good send out there for Sutton. Up the middle comes Draper. Finds some space on the left wing. Sun Devils come all the way around. Now they get it to the near circle for Murphy. Far circle, nobody home. Picking it up off the wall is Bryan. Trying to keep it away from Karunikar. Almost lost the edge. Shot turned away by Tresick, and that will get another whistle and another penalty.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one was.
Apparently it's going to go on Arizona State.
Yeah, well, a high stick.
High stick.
That'll even things up. 4-on-4 here for minute 21. So some open ice for the Saints. And now they don't have to kill off that penalty anymore. In fact, they'll end up getting a power play for about 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's a very big miscue for Arizona State. Not only do you take your own power play off the board, but now Maryville with 4-on-4 has an offensive zone face-off.
And the scoreboard says 5 minutes.
Wow, I'm not sure I've ever seen a 5-minute major on a high stick.
Well, obviously a double minor if somebody's bleeding, but
right.
That's got to be wrong, right?
It's still on the clock, and the referees let things go. So maybe in college hockey, since you don't have the option to bleed if you take it to the face. O'Leary made a steal, tries to go skate to stick, and a good poke check by Devaney to keep it alive for Arizona State. Trying to utilize the open ice. Devaney from the near side puts one through, getting a block onto it. Karunakar got a piece, couldn't send it out. It is 4-on-4, even though Arizona State looks like they have the extra player right now. Saints gather it up. Here comes Putnam. Skates zone to zone, drops it off. O'Leary manages to avoid the poke check. Plays it through the middle, nobody there. 16 seconds left until somebody would have been there. Maybolt comes into the high slot to the left circle, tries to go back to the glove side. May have glanced off the cheater of the glove, but again, Tresick just hasn't looked too confident with that glove hand side here tonight. He's only faced 16 shots. Gerwitz walks the line as the Saints set up the power play. They've got 3:25 left on the man advantage. Sutton almost put one in on the blocker side as Glaister was a little bit off the post. Sutton to Gerwitz to Beckett. Our circle. Beckett dusts it off a couple times. Takes a tough angle shot and actually hit her own teammate, but the Saints keep it in the zone. Smolinski's trying to get back to her feet and shake off the cobwebs after she took that shot from Beckett up high. Under 3 to go in the power play, and now the Saints have given it away. Laybolt comes in, stick handles through traffic, and tosses it down low. She probably had enough time to take that all the way back to her own zone.
Well, I thought maybe she was going to take that towards the net and throw it on with a player busting towards the cage.
Saints push the reset button. Villard drops it. Gerwitz stretches it out. Beckett brings it in. Boards to boards. Smolinski to Sutton. To Beckett straight away. Far side now to Karunakar, but the pass was a little hot. Sutton at the blue line. Beckett one-timer. That one got through everything. Karunakar holds it in at the far point. 2 minutes and change left in the power play. Saints can score multiple goals if this is a 5-minute power play, and they do right there. Villard bangs it in after the pad save was made, and it's 5-0. The Saints will stay on the power play.
Yeah, good movement in the O-zone, throwing that puck on. I'm not even sure if it actually made its way all the way towards the net. I thought maybe it hit off the shin pad.
It may have.
And was just laying there for Villard to put it in the back of the net. Regardless, it doesn't matter. 5-0. This is the type of game that you want to have a great response for Maryville. They continue to pour it on.
So Villard with her first of the game comes on the power play at 12:52 of the second period. Saints still with the player advantage. 150 left in that. And Maryville's going to be up 2 players now as there's another penalty coming up on Arizona State. Sun Devils touch it up. Smart play by Karunakar to just turn it over. Now there'll be a 5-on-3 for at least a minute 44. Well, maybe less. No, yeah.
I'm still confused about the 5-minute. Maybe I don't know. A high stick for 5 minutes?
Yeah, that one's kind of new on me. But
unless somebody from the bench said something.
But you would think that they would get the 5-minute plus another 2-minute.
Again, maybe we just don't know the. There's some rule in there that we just don't know about. A 5-minute major for a high stick.
It could be a collegiate only or maybe even an ACHA only rule. Beckett picks up the puck. She got it from Gerwitz, hands it back. Beckett from the high slot. Stick handles, forehand, backhand, and it rattled around. Ends up in the near side corner.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Had a good angle. Gerwitz and Beckett playing catch. Tried to go far side to Sutton, and the puck was deflected out. 1 minute left in the 5-on-3. Saints come back in, and now they've got numbers. Only one defender back. Beckett goes back door. Score! Sutton with a power play goal, and it is 6-0.
Great movement there. It helps when there's only one defender back for Arizona State. A great offensive showing for the Saints this evening. It's been a fun one to watch, Todd.
The Saints shaking off the dust and the rust after some tough weekends over the last few weeks. They're pouring it on here tonight. The scoreboard only shows 5-0. Hopefully they update that. Unless the goal doesn't count for some odd reason.
Oh, that would be a new, there's another penalty. That would be a new rule in the ACHA handbook. You can only score 5 goals in one game. And then you're out, right? It's like softball. If you hit too many home runs, you're actually out. Of course, that's, men's league, women's softball. Not competitive, of course. Although, I don't know, Todd, you ever play in those games? They get pretty competitive.
They definitely do that. People think it's the World Cup or the World Series or whatever sport you might be playing. Say, come on, we only paid $30 to play in this league.
I need to know what league you're playing in.
Well, that was a co-ed soccer league. We had enough players that it knocked the price down a little bit.
Well, that makes sense.
So it's 4-on-4 for 15 seconds as Ross is in the box for Maryville. Waiting to come out is Paige Bryan for the Sun Devils. And then they will have an abbreviated power play. 4 seconds until that happens. Shot on from the right side into the glove of Maya Glaister.
I feel like this whole period has just been nothing but special teams.
Just about.
There's that 6th goal, Todd, that you were hoping to see on the scoreboard.
Somebody finally caught it. Coming up with speed is Cameron Devaney. Gained the red line, passed over the blue line, tried to hit Taylor Bielmeyer. And now we get a whistle. Looked like the linesman had blown it. Are we going to get too many players on the ice? The penalty box is open. Somebody's going in for Arizona State.
And now we have the linesman making penalties, calling penalties.
I thought I saw the linesman signal 6, but then when the referee went to the box, it looked like he did like a punching motion, so I don't even know what the call is, if I'm honest. Into the box goes Mara Draper, so she's going to serve whatever it is. We're just going to call it too many players on the ice because that makes the most sense since the linesman blew it dead. So the special teams battle continues. 4-on-4 again. 4:45 left to go here in the period. 6 goals. 3 in the first, 3 in the second for the Maryville Saints. Smolinski steps into one to keep it into the zone. Thought about dropping it off instead from the high slot. Does drop it to Gerwitz. Near side for Beckett. She'll glide around purposely through the zone. Thought about taking a shot. Went off the toe of Gerwitz. Sun Devils able to spike it out of the zone. 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Beckett got upended. No penalty on that. I mean, I can see letting the slash go, but that was kind of a knee-on-knee collision.
And she's slow to get up. Finally heading back to the bench.
8 seconds left until the Saints have another power play. I've pretty much lost track of how many this is. I think unofficially it'll be their 5th. Although I'm always at a loss as to how you count the 5-minute power play statistically, especially if you get multiple goals.
Right.
Tried to ask Coach Hogan about that one time, and the way he said it made sense in the moment, but it wasn't anything I could really repeat.
Yeah, that's like school for me.
That's why we went into broadcasting.
Yeah, it makes sense in the moment, and then when you got to take a test, everything doesn't make any sense.
10 seconds left in the Saints power play. O'Leary peels away from pressure. Finds Brennan. Karunikar thought about stepping into one. Now takes the wrister. Sun Devils will clear it out. And it will not be icing. Pretty sure the player was out of the box, but the near side referee made the final call on that one. 2:35 to go here in the second period. Maryville with a commanding lead as it's chopped around a couple times in the near side. Gillings almost forgot about the puck. Finally lofts one out. Almost connected with Bjornsson, but she would have been in by herself. Back the other way it goes. Coons goes wing to wing. Devaney knocks it up the wall. Falardo popped it over to the far side, and then it's jabbed over into the bench of Arizona State. 2:07 left to go here in the second.
Well, Todd, it's nice to watch 5-on-5 hockey again. Seemed like for a good 15 minutes or so, it felt like it was all special teams, which is fun. That is fun, don't get me wrong.
Fun for us. I don't know if it's fun for the penalty killers.
No, absolutely not.
Two minutes left in the period. Sun Devils unable to get it out. Now it pops back out in front. Oh, what a goal for Ross! She was falling down, going the other way, still managed to get her stick hand onto the forehand and chip it over the goaltender, 7-0.
Yeah, that's just a great play. Good job keeping the puck in the zone. Arizona State having a tough time in their own zone. We've seen just about every type of goal tonight for the Saints, whether it's a nice shot, whether it's going to the net, finding the rebound, or falling to your knee and whacking it going the other way. That's a highlight reel goal.
1:45 to go here in the period. Sun Devils trying to stem the bleeding somehow. One-timer out in front. Blocker save made on the chance from Hansen. Good setup to find the defender pinching in. Saints now with 35 shots on goal. 7 of them have hit the back of the net. Puck tied up off the face-off. Both teams trying to dig in along the corner boards. 90 seconds left in the period. Bjornsson centered. Putnam was there. Hansen spins around, or that's actually Struther, my mistake. Olsen trying to skate it out. Spielmeyer to Olsen, going back door, and it went off the skate of Bryan. Now backhand chance. That one goes off a skate and into the near side boards. Harris can't clear. Slap shot goes about 8 feet wide. Struther steps into her opponent. Bryan went down to a knee, got up. Gave a little bit of a shove there to Struther. Murphy to the point. Near side, it's Gervais. Step into a shot, and again off target. Penalty called by the trail official. And slashing will be the call with 30.9 seconds left.
You know, Todd, we talked about it in the intermission with this Arizona State team, how young they are going into this year. even last year as well. And with the young players, we mentioned not making a ton of, I'd say, the right plays. You know, there's a lot of, just a lot of plays where you'd like to have back. Here's a great chance.
Good save by Tresick on the short side as they tried to stuff it in. Ring methodically walks the line to the near circle. Shot from Brown was deflected wide. Picked up by Bielmeyer. DeVenny to the far circle. Ring takes a shot. Deflected in front, but Tresick was right there.
Great stop, great stop. But to my point, you're going to see mistakes out of a young group. But what we're also seeing is some creativity. You're seeing the creativity, but now it's about the execution as well. They've had their chances, and they've had a lot of really good chances, but they're just unable to execute at this point. But you got to like where this program is in terms of the offensive creativity and just finding a way to throw pucks on net. They're not doing enough of that, though, in this game.
A little bit of a better offensive showing for the Sun Devils as they get 11 shots on goal, but none of it at the back of the net. Saints with 4 in that period, 7-0 after 2. We'll be back with your second intermission report. Keep it right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
There comes a time where it's going to be harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important. Leon Draisaitl from Cologne, Germany, Edmonton Oilers. For me, it started early. My dad played, so it ran in the family a little bit, and always wanted to play in the NHL. I'm an offensive guy that likes to generate and create chances and take big pride in the defensive side of things as well. I've got nothing but great things to say about Warrior, and a huge fan of the consistency year after year. For me personally, bring out the best product, and it's so simple and easy to work with Warrior. And on top of that, the service is incredible. Always things to learn, always things to grow, always the parts of the game to get better at, but all in all, you have to be a Warrior.
College hockey. It's more than just what school you play for. More than just another sweater you pull on. It's about focus, determination, strategy, and poise. It's more than just packed rinks and screaming fans. It's about heart, skill, and passion. In nearly 30 years of the ACHA, we don't just play the game of hockey. We are the game of hockey. Hundreds of elite players and coaches from some of the United States and Canada's most prestigious programs. The American Collegiate Hockey Association. More than just a game.
Hello everyone, I hope you've had a great summer. As the school year gets started across the country, we're excited to also welcome you back to another great season of hockey. Thanks for being a part of the USA Hockey family. I want you to know that our volunteers and our staff work every single day as hard as they can to make sure hockey is the best sports experience in every community in our country. Within USA Hockey, you're part of an organization that's a world leader in development, safety, fun, and success, and one that is committed to fostering a welcoming environment for all by building a diverse, equitable, and inclusive game. Hockey is played in thousands of communities across our entire country. Please join me in keeping the momentum going by inviting at least one new person to get involved with hockey this year. It doesn't matter if it's someone who wants to play, coach, officiate, volunteer, or just be a fan. We're excited about sharing the joy our sport brings with as many people as possible. I would also like to offer a friendly reminder to make sure that respect is top of mind every time you enter the rink or take to the ice for a game or practice this season. That includes making sure that we never use hateful or discriminatory language, as it has absolutely no place in our game or in our society. It's on all of us to make sure that we respect the game, including playing within the rules, treating officials with respect, giving our best, and being a good teammate. In the end, hockey is about fun, so let's make sure we never lose sight of that. Here's to a great season ahead, one filled with friendship, respect, success, and most of all, plenty of smiles.
Welcome to Maryville University.
Welcome to Saints Nation,
home of the Big Red M.
So what does it mean to be a Maryville Saint?
It's more than just going to classes.
As Saints, we are passionate about what we believe in.
We are open-minded and curious about other points of view.
And we know this about life at Maryville.
Your best experiences will happen when you get involved.
Make sure to get involved on campus.
We work hard,
but we have a lot of fun too.
We have a passion to see each other succeed.
You might have a few hiccups along the way, or maybe something more serious. When we run into adversity,
we have faculty and staff here to provide support.
We stand with our fellow Saints through the good times
and the difficult times.
So be sure to seek out help when you need it.
We know that here at Maryville,
we are never alone.
The spirit of Maryville flows through each person that steps foot on our campus.
Being a Saint is that feeling that Maryville University is your community.
That even when you're far away from home,
you are home.
We're on this journey together.
We are Maryville University.
One team, one family.
It's time for the Maryville Saints Intermission Report. Let's get ready for the third period.
There comes a time where it's going to get harder and more difficult, but to never lose that focus of enjoying the game is so important.
And welcome back to the Maryville Saints Hockey Network. 7-0 Saints after 2 periods of play. Well, we thought the first period was good enough. The Saints managed to get even more there in the second, and they've still got that 0 on the board as well. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought the first period was fantastic. Great start, great finish to the first. And then the second period, there's a lot of special teams, and we mentioned that throughout the broadcast. But with that being said, Maryville capitalized on their opportunities. So they have scored. All of their goals have been in different ways, right? And I think that just goes to show that no matter what, this team can find a way to put the puck in the back of the net. Just some fantastic hockey tonight by the Saints.
So 4 different goal scorers for Maryville in that second period. You've got Harris, Villard, Sutton, and Ross, 2 on the power play in that second period as well. You said a lot of special teams.
Yeah.
If you're Maryville and you're going to have a lot of special teams, you want to capitalize.
Yeah, absolutely. And, they've done a great job on the penalty kill as well. They end up getting that 5-minute power play, and they did a good job at executing on that. But one thing I guess we really didn't talk about is just how good their penalty kill has been. Heading into this game, they're at 90%. They're doing a great job on the kill, shorthanded so far this season, and that has continued into tonight's game. Now, Arizona State, they passed up on some shots that I believe that maybe they should have taken. But Tresick has made some great saves as well. You saw at the end of that period. Not that, it really would matter based on the score, but you got to make the stop, and there's other things on the line as well.
Yeah, the goaltenders, you always want to build on everything, so you want to keep them out, and Hannes Tresick has done that thus far. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the third period puck drop right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
Learning experience should belong to you. At Maryville University, you choose your own path and forge your own future. Whether you're on the ground, online, or a combination of both, the Maryville experience is centered on you, the learner. As a leader in innovation and technology, we're prepared to take you from learner to earner and back again. Join us as we look to your future together.
Just about set for third period action between the Maryville Saints and the Arizona State Sun Devils. Maryville looking for its 5th win of the year, potentially trying to get back to 500 if they can sweep these 2 games. But right now they're only worried about tonight. But they've got it reasonably well in hand with 7 goals to their name and none allowed. 90 seconds left on the Arizona State power play, their 4th of the game. Scoreline basically tells you that they have not scored on the power play as of yet. Sun Devils come up the near side. Stepping up into it was Gerwitz. Can't telegraph a pass like that with the captain of the Maryville Saints on that side. Gerwitz fires it right back in after a miscue on the stretch pass up the left wing. 30 seconds into the third period. Sun Devils still with the power play for another 55 seconds as it's Putnam in the sin bin. Maryville able to pick the pocket of Biedermeyer. She was able to still gain the zone, but not breaking out the way she had intended.
Yeah, that could have been a breakaway. Great stick by Emma Gerwitz.
Ring put it through the middle and nobody home. 2 options and it kind of split both of them. Devaney to Ring on the outside hash marks. Gerwitz puts the stick right in there. Devaney walks the line a couple strides, flips one in towards goal. Tresick makes the save, covers it up. 17 seconds left in the power play.
We're back at it tomorrow, Todd. The Saints and the Sun Devils. earlier puck drop.
Afternoon contest. Sun Devils looking for any space. Right now, the Saints have got them hemmed along the outer portion of the rink. Back to 5-on-5 as Putnam is out. Harris is on the ice. Putnam takes a seat on the bench. Karunakar ties up her opponent. Murphy trying to scrape it off the wall, as is Leibold. Jabbed out towards the middle, and a shot goes off of the stick, I believe, of Karunakar. Gerwitz was there as well. It ends up ramping over the goal and out of play.
Yeah, great defensive stick right there. That's a high-danger scoring opportunity. Just get that stick on puck and make sure that puck doesn't go on net. Great job.
1:58 into the period. Hansen kind of spun it right back into pressure. Ring puts it out in front. Had Brown, but she couldn't get anything on it. Brown from the goal line. Looking back door. Ring was there. Whiffed on the shot. Hard pass to Corral. Hansen stretching it up the near wing. Looking for Sutton. They say it took a deflection, so no icing. Olsen and Ring are there for Arizona State. Somebody's stick went way up into the air. That was Sutton. Devaney almost stick handled herself right into trouble as Beckett was right there. And the clock is not moving. Hopefully they're keeping track of it on the ice. Still says 18:02. I guess we're going to tack some extra time onto the period. Beckett takes a wrister. That's off the right pad. Surprised nobody's yelling at the official. Sun Devils go wing to wing. Hansen. Everybody's pointing at the scoreboard except for the people that control it.
Well, that's what happens. We don't have a clock on the other side of the rink, and the puck has been in the O zone this entire time.
I can't believe the officials haven't noticed it at the very least. Big slash right along the stick of Villard. She turns it over. No penalty coming. Sun Devils come back the other way. On the off wing is Bielmeyer trying to cut back towards the goal. Ran out of space, and now they've turned on the clock.
Like 2 or 3 minutes just went by.
At least, yeah.
If this was a tighter game, this would be an actual issue, and it would bother me more.
Well, we're not getting paid by the hour. So icing is the call. And the scorekeeper's having a discussion with the official. I think they're going to try to adjust this, but I can't imagine with it going on that long that anybody has a good clue about how long it lasted. They're going to take a minute off.
Well, what's funny is the officials didn't even notice it either. So typically if that does happen, they'll actually, maybe start counting.
Right. Just
to be safe. But none of them are paying attention either.
So the Saints, I guess, to your point, maybe it's fortunate that nobody scored there because the Saints, for all their offensive pressure, they were in the offensive zone for at least 2 minutes, if not more. And then all of a sudden only 1 minute comes off the clock.
We got another penalty coming, power play.
Saints going to be up a player as Villard was interfered with behind the net. Officially, unofficially, there is 15:59 left to go here in the third period. Saints up by 7, and they will have their, we'll say 6th power play of the game.
Well, who's counting? Apparently nobody's counting in the rink, Todd, so you can just really make up a number if you wanted to.
I basically did. So in the box is Kylie Label. Kerwitz has the puck off the faceoff win. Far side for Sutton. Wing to wing for Beckett. Gets the defender down, takes it down low, off the pad. And that's what we were talking about. That was kind of that shot pass, but to your point, goaltender kicked it right back out so nobody could get it in the middle. Beckett from the dot, peels away. Kerwitz from the high slot. Sutton far side. Kerwitz again. Wrister, oh, and it hit the post. From the angle we were at, I thought that was going to hit the post and go in, and instead it came right back out.
Well, you know, the post also has gotten better over the years, able to make sure that some of those pucks don't go in.
Now here's the giveaway right in front. Tresick makes the shorthanded stop.
Yeah, that's a great stop. Just right out front. Great chance for the Sun Devils to put one on the board, but Tresick has done a great job all night shutting down Arizona State. By the way, Todd, that was a joke that I said earlier.
About the post?
About the post, yeah. I don't have any research done on if the post has done anything different over the years. I don't have any.
Pretty sure it was doing some off-season training.
Maybe. I know the post, the net in general down on that end loves to
it was,
jump
it's
off
always
its
that
peg.
end too.
Loves to come undone. But that was a great shot by Emma Gerwitz. Just an absolute seed towards the net.
An extended discussion between the linesman and the official led to a little bit of a delay. Ultimately, for naught as Saints come out with it. Here comes Brennan. Red line, blue line in on the attack. From the corner, guided around by Devaney. Saints still in possession. Karunikar at the point. To the circle, Gillings lost it for a moment, puts one on through. Some of the steam was taken off of that, and Glaister will make the stop. 40 shots on goal here tonight for Maryville.
That's a ton of shots, and it's no surprise when you throw the puck on net, it's no surprise that you have 7 goals on the board. You know, with hockey, it just put the puck on net, good things happen. Same thing in baseball. Put the ball in play, like good things can happen. In baseball, I'm so sick of the 3 true outcomes with strikeouts and all that dumb stuff.
It's all about launch angle.
Launch angle, home runs, strikeouts.
Just wait. Eventually something like that will come into hockey. It's like you got to have the right launch angle to get to the upper 90 or something like that.
Well, I hope that never happens.
Hopefully. Game's pretty good as it is. Sun Devils dusted off a couple times. Long shot from Streak ends up off the waffle board. Karunikar looking to do something with it. Pass was too strong for Putnam. Devaney with a shot. That's blocked in front. O'Leary was tied up as Powell got a stick down. Off the far side half wall. Now in behind the goal for Bielmeyer. Putnam comes and throws a shoulder. Tresick makes the short side stop. Streak to the far side. Return pass finds Devaney. That went through a lot of traffic and ends up in behind the goal. A little bit of pressure here coming for the Sun Devils as they've got the Saints on their heels. Maryville with an opportunity to change after Tresick made the stop.
Yeah, speaking of traffic, that shot through traffic, going the other way as well. Tresick challenges the shot, makes the stop. You know, Arizona State, they're trailing in the shot department, but, you know, it's not like they have 13 shots on net or something small like that. They're about to eclipse 25, which is still a decent amount.
Here comes Maryville. Braun stick handling around. They lost it at the last moment. Slap shot from Hansen. That was knocked down by her own teammate. Braun with another shot. That's wide of the blocker. 12:49 left to go here in the third period. Murphy plays it off the wall. Hansen steps up the blue line and keeps it alive, and then it rolls out into the neutral zone. Saints couldn't touch it as they were on a delayed offside. Behind her own goal is Hannah Coons. Sidesteps the pressure and filters it back over to the far wing. Fluttering pass was intercepted by the Saints. And then it was stabbed out by the Devils. Here come the Sun Devils on the near side. Ring's shot was blocked by Gerwitz. Closing in on 8 minutes played. Gerwitz goes down. Ring slaps it back into the corner. Spinning puck around like a top. Hansen is tied up with Devaney. Gerwitz came over to help. Sutton is there as well. Sun Devils in possession, but so close to the wall that they can't do anything with it. Arizona State has now 2 players with jerseys that weren't on their roster. That always makes things fun. Number 6 and 16. How dare they? Offside is the call against Maryville. 11:23 to go here in the third period. Saints with a commanding 7-goal lead.
How do you see tomorrow's game panning out, Todd? Do you feel like we'll have a tighter game, or do you think it will be much more of the same?
I think the Saints will still be the better team based on what we've seen, but I don't expect the scoreline to be quite so lopsided. So Arizona State has had brief flashes here and there that just haven't been able to sustain too much, especially in that first period. I think that really put them behind the 8 ball.
Well, you think of travel as well. It's not like Arizona is close by any means.
It's just a little jaunt down the road.
Yeah.
A lot of bus travel in the ACHA, and whether you're going out to Minot State, that's got to be a fun trip, or all the way over to the coast for Liberty. Arizona State really isn't all that close to anybody. It's their independent team, so they're doing a lot of traveling.
I feel like that can be fun as long as there's an icing. As long as you don't have a long road trip where you're doing it back to back to back weekends. I feel like that could get a little old, but every now and then throw in a long road trip, have a good time with your teammates, get away from school.
I imagine that's the test, to your point, for a lot of these teams that make the jump from the ACHA to the NCAA, because usually that first year you basically have almost no home games.
Right. Now, I say that living here in St. Louis, where the weather is so up and down, you never know what you're going to get. We're in the month of November, and it's colder inside this rink than it is outside. Now, maybe you have a different line of thinking if you live in Arizona, which I would more than likely say that a lot of people wouldn't want to leave that state due to the weather.
It's a little dry.
All right, Todd, come on.
I apologize for my contrarian nature. Icing is the call here with 9:42 to go.
You just love this great city here in Missouri so much you don't want to pump the tires of another state or city. I understand.
I have nothing against Arizona. I actually have not been there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Trying to think of what the furthest west I've gone is Idaho.
All right.
Did some broadcasting out in Boise.
I've heard Boise is a lovely place.
The parts that I saw were nice. It wasn't very nice out there because we had to do an all-day broadcast.
Yeah.
And it was a soccer tournament, so we were outside and to see the sun coming up over the mountains. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I'm sure. I've been to Scottsdale, Arizona, but I've never been to Tempe. Actually, that might be a lie.
Well, we've got it on there now. Everybody digging in along the near side as the Sun Devils come out with it. Good pass over to the far circle. Punched away by Tresick. Devaney knocks it back towards the blue line. Slap shot coming from number 16. I'd give you a name if I had one. Reversed by Falardo. Devaney steps up and knocks it loose. And we got a hand pass on the Saints.
So I believe I have been to Tempe. The highway situation in Arizona is something. I'll just leave it at that. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but you basically, you have Tempe, Scottsdale, Arizona, all right in, pretty close to each other. So, it was a few years ago, Todd, but I think I did go to Tempe.
Yeah, that is one thing that even though I haven't been there, I was kind of aware of. So we get a short side shot from Sutton, score! And it is 8-0 in favor of the Saints as Aaliyah Sutton now has her 8th goal of the year, make that her 9th goal of the year. She scored a power play goal back in the second period.
Yeah, that was a nice shot right over the glove, far side, top cheese.
But to finish off my useless point, I was somewhat aware of how close all the cities were in Arizona just because of the Coyotes situation. They had at least 3 different homes.
Right.
And they were always kind of considered in the same vicinity.
Same thing with the Arizona Cardinals. I believe they used to play in Tempe, and now I believe they're in Glendale.
Yeah. Right, but because I think when they first moved out there, they played in Sun Devil Stadium.
Yeah.
So Hansen settles down the bouncing puck. 7:40 to go here in the game. 8-0 Saints. 3 goals in the first, 4 in the second, 1 here in the third. Beckett comes on around, serves it up to Ross. Is Coach Lang kind of throwing his lines into the blender a little bit here, just giving some people different matchups, different looks, see who they connect with. Ross hit the ground in behind the net. Windross finds Gerwitz, and she got a little greedy there, gives it away. Off to the races comes Powell. She's in on the breakaway. Score! Shutout goes by the wayside after a turnover, a very rare occurrence from Irma Gerwitz. But that led to the breakaway for Powell, and it is 8-1.
That's a tough one for Hannah Tresick. You're up 8-0. Obviously, you're on your way to a victory, but the next thing that you want to get, not only for her, but the entire team, is a shutout. And turnover at the blue line. You're hoping that Gerwitz just fires that one on net, or at least puts it in the corner, something simple, but it's not going to ruin the night by any means, but you would have loved to get that shutout.
Yeah, and as I said, you don't see that very often from Gerwitz.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, extremely rarely, but you could see what she wanted to do because she was trying to put the puck through that little triangle between the opponent's stick and their skate, but telegraphed it a little too much, turned it over, and it's a 50-50 proposition at best on a breakaway. Here comes O'Leary over the red line and the blue line. She'll take a high wrister, and that one may have glanced off the shoulder of Glacier, but if that was on target, that would have been difficult to deal with. Good power behind it. Saints couldn't necessarily pick up the loose puck and do much with it. Scooped out by the Sun Devils as they're trying to change their line. Turned over at the blue line again. Defensive time as Olsen comes right back in. Hansen for the Saints. Fanned on the fluttering puck initially. Olsen will go off for a change, as will O'Leary. Bjornsson stepped up, came up empty-handed as it was coming through the neutral zone. 5:30 to go. Now, if Patrick Waugh was the coach, we might see the goaltender pulled. Don't think we'll see it here tonight. Sun Devils gliding their way into possession, and then the scoop pass into the zone so Ring could get off for a change, went right to Mika Hansen. She's able to get around the sweep check, puts it out in front, almost connected backdoor with Harris, and then Hansen actually collided with the end wall, and she gets up rather gingerly. Smolinski just popped it over here towards the near side. Hansen finally gets off. Gerwitz is out there. She's got the puck momentarily, trying to shuffleboard it out of the zone. Pumped right back the other way. Powell in a duel with Smolinski. Back in her own zone is Mara Draper. She finds Streak as they go far wing. Draper sends it on in. 4:20 to go. Streak holds his own to Leibold up the wall. Gerwitz chops it out of the zone, and now here comes Beckett. Stick handles around one to the backhand, and she ran out of real estate, tripped up by the goaltender. Glaister is still down as well as she's shaken up after that collision. Seems to have gotten the cobweb shaken out.
That would have been an unbelievable goal.
Turnover, Beckett goes forehand, backhand, and shoots it right into the glove.
Couple chances there for Haley Beckett. She's already scored a few times tonight.
She's on hat trick watch. 10 goals on the season now.
That would have been not that last shot, but the one where she dangled and went in and sort of gotten tripped up a little bit, couldn't put it home. That would have been a great hat trick goal. Another highlight reel goal. We've seen already one of those tonight.
Good move by Falardo. Finally, the stick check from Brown was able to jostle that loose. Sun Devils push it up through the middle. Devaney backhands it over the blue line, but the Saints are right there. There comes Villard back the other way. Ross is kind of in her way. Villard carries all the way through, shoots, and it went off a skate. Sun Devils go back to defense. Ross shoots wide. Windross picks it up off the wall. Ross is the recipient of that pass. 2:45 to go. So there was a cross body right along the corner boards. Pass was too far behind Struther. Held in by Putnam on the far side. Bjornsson again takes a spill. Chipped over Hansen. Braun goes back. Putnam is there as well. Fires it over towards the Arizona State bench. I don't know if she meant to do that or not, but I've always been curious as to why more teams don't just fire it over towards the opponent's bench when they're changing, try to get maybe a too many men on the ice call.
I never really thought about that. That kind of reminds me of, as we get a chance here behind the net, I'll tell you in a second, Todd.
Brown tried to spin and pass in behind. Defender was well placed. 1:50 left to go. Chip pass from Putnam goes up the wall as it's filtered through, intended for Braun. And now the Sun Devils are able to reset. Into the zone comes Powell. Trying to drop it off for Bielmeyer. Saints are able to push it up the other way. Brennan Going zone to zone, comes in on the right wing. Shot, rebound. Toole was almost there. Held up just enough by Coons. 3-on-2 the other way. Now it's a 3-on-3. Shot, right pad save as Tresick turns away Kelsey Olsen. 65 seconds left. Tresick makes the save, 57.3 seconds left.
Well, to my point, you brought up the too many men on the ice, or try and throw that puck towards the bench, try and, maybe get yourself a power play out of it. It reminds me of why kickers, the thought process that I have, kickers in the NFL or just football in general, when they go to do an onside kick, typically those don't really work out. But why not, instead of bouncing the ball, just kick an absolute missile at the player in front of them?
That is a good point. I've wondered that myself. The only thing I can think is maybe they've tried it and they can't guarantee that it'll go where they want them.
Well, I mean, you're not guaranteed a bouncing ball that goes
True.
8 yards most of the time.
3-on-2 as they miss on the pass to Ring. Devaney had her stick lifted. Gerwitz has it. Escape route. Almost sprang a breakout attempt. Beckett is going to get there first as it barely jabbed away from her. Sutton picks up the loose change from the high slot. She takes a shot. She might be looking for a hat trick if they can sneak one in. Not going to have enough time, though. Beckett has the buzzer ring on her. 8-1 is your final as the Saints have an offensive explosion. 46 shots on goal. They do allow 30 as the Sun Devils started coming on here late, but overall this was Maryville start to finish.
Yeah, just an absolute great game for Maryville tonight. We talked about the 2 losses heading into this game. You mentioned it. After the first period, it seemed like they erased the memory that they had of those 2 losses to Liberty, because this was a complete effort from start to finish. I thought everybody played a fantastic game, and they have one more tomorrow as well to hopefully get the sweep in this 2-game set against Arizona State.
So tomorrow's puck drop is scheduled for 2:30 Central Time. We hope that you will join us for that, but as we said, in this one, it was Maryville start to finish as Smolinski got things going at 8:23 of the first period. Beckett would score at 11:21. That would prove to be the game winner. She would get another one on the power play to end the first. Harris, Villard, Sutton, and Ross would round out the scoring in the second. Sutton added another in the third. Powell, the last goal of the game for Arizona State, as they do get themselves on the board, but just not enough overall to beat Hannah Tresick, despite the fact that they had 30 shots on goal. We'll see how well Arizona State responds tomorrow, or if it's all Maryville again tomorrow afternoon. Again, the puck drops at 2:30 right here on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network. For Andrew Marsh and Eric Skelton making us look good behind the scenes, for Corey Madden, who did a good job running the camera as well, we thank you for watching. I've been Todd Panula, and until the next time, have a good night, Saints fans.